Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Take Your Medicine. Where are you going, Billy? Come hang out. You want to be friends? Say hello. It's episode 58 today, and we have forgotten to cross off the chart a few times. So let's do that, little girl. You are so extra when you get in people's faces like this. Huh? You're so cute and funny. We have a play date coming up with my friend Katie and her dog Rhea, and I'm really excited about that. Her dog's name is Rhea Sunshine, and she is the sweetest dog in the world. She's the sweet angel, feminine puppy energy, and so I'm excited for Billy to make a friend, Billy. Yay. And speaking of Katie, actually, I'm headed to her office today because she is an acupuncturist and she also practices Reiki and sound healing, and she is quite the incredible healer. And so I get to go and receive acupuncture from her for the very first time. Actually, I have received acupuncture in a group setting from her, but this will be my first one-on-one session, and I'm very excited about it. But I've also been reminded of an issue more acutely as this acupuncture appointment approaches, because I have more sores on my legs from picking. And I'm very frustrated, and it's been something that I have felt a lot of shame about and had to work with and try and practice not feeling shame about, because if you have been following along on this show much, you know that I have struggled with picking or dermatillomania for my entire life. This marker isn't the best, but it'll do. And I've been picking at my skin since before I can remember. I don't know. It's been forever. And so look at us crossing off all these numbers of episodes. Booyah! We out here doing shit, making it happen, being brave, being vulnerable, talking about the shit that's embarrassing, because we gotta face it. We gotta fucking face it. So here we are. Here I am. And so I've been crying a lot of tears, honestly, about how frustrated I am that I cannot figure out how to stop picking at my skin. I feel like picking at my skin is the final piece of my healing puzzle. I never thought it would be possible to live without chronic pain and fatigue. I was in extreme pain the majority of the time, my entire adult life. And the very last part of it was the left side of my lower back, and it is better than ever. Barely does it even bother me at all. I am completely pain-free most of the time, almost completely all of the time, unless I do like something strenuous or whatever. I am healthier and stronger and happier than I've ever been. And I'm more in control of the picking issue than I've ever been. I've had bigger, periods of having it under control. But ever since the 1 year anniversary in October of Thomas's passing, that all brought up just a lot of grief. It was a very heavy thing to go through, and I walked through it with love and grace and patience, and I was present and I was in my body and I was able to serve my family. But the one thing that helped me get through that and literally brought me comfort was picking at my own skin. It in high school and in my early adult years, I would dig so deeply into my own skin without even having a sore there in the first place. I would dig and I would create holes and lesions and scabs on my body. I couldn't wear short sleeves for literally years because my arms were so full of open, nasty sores and scabs that I wore 3/4 length shirts for years no matter what season it was, because I was hiding. And now I have, I don't know, 7 or 8 sores on my legs, and I have to go get acupuncture from my friend Katie, and I just have to walk in and deal with that because I need to face it. I cannot hide it. I have to face it. And so I'm grateful that Katie is such a sweetheart and that she understands the healing process. And my hope is that being open with all of you and with myself about this issue will just help me resolve it once and for all, because I received so much more healing and relief from this than I ever have before when I've been open about it on this show. And people would reach out to me and tell me that they had the same problem. And that has been something that has helped others and helped me to not feel so alone. And when I was crying to AJ about it just the other day, just frustrated with myself and feeling hopeless about how can I fix this problem in myself, he said, I think this issue will go away as soon as you learn to stop feeling bad about it. And I think he is right. I have to love the part of myself that is picking at myself and hurting myself and causing myself physical pain to relieve the emotional pain. And so that is something that I have a new resolve. And this morning I'm feeling good about just facing it and using more intention and getting back on my little finger fidgets and getting in control of this once again, once and for all. I want to feel like literally nothing else on this planet, on any universe, and any dimension has my power. I have my power. And so this compulsion to pick is so real and so intense. And it goes back to very early childhood. And so I just got to give myself grace and look back and be proud of myself for everything I have healed, everything I've opened to, and the progress that I have made. So I'm very grateful for that. I wanted to talk today about the menstrual cycle a little bit. So the other day it was Sunday and today is Tuesday. I have my cacao here. Sunday evening, I was really feeling it. I was so emotional. I was very easily irritated, and I was just having to really breathe and use intention to stay kind, stay soft, stay open. And I haven't paid attention to my periods at all, and so I'm not good at calendars or keeping track of things. Those are not my strong suits. So I was feeling all of this. I'm like, what is going on? So I look up when the full moon is, because that is how I know when my cycle will be. And sure enough, it was yesterday. The full moon was Monday. And so I was on the eve of starting my period and I was feeling it. And this has been a very heavy menstrual cycle for me, not just physically, but emotionally. And I was not expecting to facilitate a session on, let's see, Friday night. That happened out of the blue. Somebody was in need of a last minute session, and we ended up doing a late night session on Friday night. And it was beautiful, but it was really sensitive for me and brought up a lot of grief and a lot of emotion, because the person that was journeying was very close to me and close to my heart. And so there was a lot of emotion being released, and I was just feeling it all. It was very physically strenuous to put together a session and facilitate that at the last minute with everything else I had going on. And everything was just bringing up a lot of grief, a lot of sadness, a lot of emotion. And I have been present with it more than I ever have. And I really wanted to share that, because this menstrual cycle, though it's been very difficult to get through, I mean, I have been crying so much. I cried 10 times yesterday, probably, and 10 times the day before, probably. And I used to feel shame with the dysregulation and the irritable feelings and the the grumpiness and all of it. I used to feel shame, and that shame would cause me to act grumpily. It would make me act in negativity. But this time I really tried to practice some intention with this cycle to allow all of the emotions that wanted to come up, but to not attach labels to them, to not attach a story to it even. Something would come up about me, not having my mom around as a child or something. And all of a sudden I'm just crying. And if I want to attach myself to that story, I can, and it can be valuable for me. And I can, energy vampire everyone around me about this story that my mom wasn't around when I was a little girl and I longed for my mom. Or I can just see that, recognize, oh, this is energy around my mom not being around when I was a little child, and I'll honor that and open to it and allow it to move through, but don't attach it. Don't attach myself to it. Don't even talk about it necessarily. All of these emotions were coming up, and AJ was there for a lot of it. And he would say, "What's wrong? What's going on?" And I would say, "I just need to feel what's coming up. I just need to be with myself through this." And he would just hold me. And instead of talking about it, I'm sad because my mom wasn't around, and I'm sad because you and I had a big fight 3 years ago, and I'm still hurting from it. Whatever is coming up, allow it, observe it, and watch it move through. And I felt more connected than ever to the earth as a planet that has these cycles of sunshine and rain and fire and storms. And our earth is going through these cycles just like we are. She is 70% water. We are 70% water. We are water beings having an earthly human experience. But we are literally water beings in the flow of all of life. And we have storms that come through us. I was talking to my husband about this the other day, about how people say, I don't want a man to open a door for me, or I don't want to have a man lift something or open a jar for me, or I don't think a man needs to pay for dinner, or something like that. I am perfectly okay with the masculine taking on some of those extra things, because God fucking damn it, women are bringing life into this world. Women are bleeding a fourth of the time. Women are sacrificing their literal physical bodies, feeding from their breasts, bearing children, carrying children, nurturing and feeling the nervous systems of their children. The shit that a mother goes through. And even if a woman chooses not to bear children, she is still a factory for life. This machine that is literally capable of producing life on earth. And she is physically, on average, not as physically strong as a man is in the world. This is just science. This is not sexism. This is simple logic. The man's world is a masculine world, and women are oppressed in that world. There are very many things that are harder and scarier for women in the world than there are for men. So let the man open the door for you. Let the man pick up the check if he wants to. Let the man hold you and comfort you while you go through your cycle. Let yourself be treated like a queen. And if you need to communicate that that's more of what, with your partner, that that's more of what you need, do it and explain to him that there is a lot going on inside of this body, that we are literally vessels for life. And so we need some extra care. We are trees that are meant to bear fruit, whether that fruit is physical humans or music or whatever your passion is. We are creators, and we have crazy hormone cycles, and they need to be honored and cherished and appreciated. And that starts with us doing that for ourselves. And that helps everyone around us learn, like, oh, she deserves a little break right now. Yes, I can go out of my way to do something a little bit nicer. This woman has brought forth life into the world. She's doing her best. We can honor that by going a little extra for her. Eckhart Tolle talks about the female collective pain body. The female collective pain body. And he talks about how it's an accumulation of unresolved emotional pain, because women have been oppressed for thousands of years. Women have been suffering under the oppression of toxic masculinity for so long. We have been bearing children and not fully appreciated or cared for through the trauma of that process. We are feeling that within our bodies. And when the cycle comes around and the menstrual cycle is upon us, that gets easily triggered. The collective female pain body. I find that when I am out and about and I'm extra sensitive and feeling extra vulnerable, extra raw, extra hormonal, I see more oppression of women all around me. I see all of the ways that women are mistreated and the inequalities in the world, and you just feel it more. And so I think it's important that we create more awareness around ourselves as women and our cycles, so that we teach men to honor what we are going through and to respect it and to hold space for it. But we have to get in control of the way that we handle those mood swings and those fluctuations and the energies that come through. And that can be very difficult. And so awareness is the healer. Awareness is the key for that. And so the more we can pull back and just allow our feelings to arise, cry them out, let every storm come through. Not every day is meant to be sunny. Some days are meant to be rainy, and it all works out perfectly. It purifies, it clarifies, it makes us feel better to just release through that time. I had a couple quotes from Eckhart Tolle. He said, "Feel the collective pain body of humanity inside you and use the power of your awareness to transmute it. Allow yourself to surrender into the cycle rather than to resist it." Surrender into it. When your body calls for you to go inward, go inward. Feel it. Take a bath. Cry it all out. Be with yourself through it. And the cycle can become this beautiful time of reflection and healing and release when we use some intention, we have some awareness, and we give ourselves some extra care and extra love during that time. One more quote. He says, "Through awareness, you are able to separate yourself from the pain body and observe it. This awareness breaks your identification with it and creates space for consciousness to emerge." Every cycle that we can create a little bit more awareness, that we can allow what needs to come up and release, every cycle can be a healer. It can be medicine for us. It can be medicine for our partnerships. It can take us deeper into our own healing. It can help us connect deeper with our partnership, or our partner. And if we can stay open to our partner and allow them to hold space for us, stay gentle with them, even in the grumpiness, say, "I am feeling a lot of dysregulation right now. I don't want to talk about it. I just need to be held." Whatever you need, communicate it with love, communicate it with kindness. Be with yourself, and we can get through this shit together. All right. I love you all. I'm going to stop talking right now. I'm going to go get some acupuncture. I'm going to own my shit with Katie. I'm going to feel her love because I know she's amazing. And we're going to be real and vulnerable and get through this life all together. I love you. Namaste. Take care.